on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Struggling Hunters podcast with me, Eric Stewart, and Mr. Joe Imes. This podcast is about basically just a couple of old friends that love hunting and have been hunting for most of our lives, and we want to go through everything as far as our experiences with you guys. With that said, my name's Eric. I grew up in Idaho, and where I met Joe whenever we were kids, and we were hunting as kids all the way up to adulthood. And the last few years, we've really gotten more serious with it, especially like with each other. We've been hunting together and trying to, get the advantage on our animals. And so here we are, broadcasting to the world, our little podcast. I hope everybody loves it. Joe, what do you got?
Yeah. I think the struggling hunters, like you said, what we are. Been hunting for years, ever since Dad taking me out. Shoot, I don't remember how old I was. Probably 6, 7, or 8, and then getting old enough to go hunting. With my own tag since I was 12. I haven't always been successful. I've been more struggling than success. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do better at, and learn from my mistakes and be able to discuss them and hopefully do better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of part of the reason. It was kind of a joke. Me and Joe were laughing back and forth about it, but it's something that kind of stuck about calling the podcast the Struggling Hunters. But yeah, we've had our struggles, and through those struggles, we're still learning and trying to get to that next level of success, and trying to figure out the public lands, and so that's how we came up with the name of Struggling Hunters. We just thought it was kind of funny and partially true. So here we are, bringing
partially true, then partially funny.
yeah, partially funny, partially true. So being our first podcast, it might be a little clunky, so bear with us. But at the same time, we're just bringing a podcast that talks about hunting and the regular struggles of regular people, and also equipment and stuff like that too. It's not just the fact of being successful or unsuccessful. It's kind of the equipment, of me and Joe to this day, we're still trying to buy get that next top of the line equipment to make our hunting trip better for the next season, or maybe even help us become more successful. So, with that said, that's kind of part of the whole idea behind Struggling Hunters, the podcast. You got any thing to add to that, Joe?
I don't know. That kind of does a pretty good description. There's just a couple guys trying to, like we said earlier, improve, get better, and then be a little more, hopefully a little transparent as to situation, what's going on, why we messed up, or what we're going through to be able to get to go out hunting. Just kind of, daily life type of stuff, dealing with work, home life, families, maybe even some car issues, or home issues, like stuff breaking that you need to get fixed before you can go hunting. That's kind of how my hunting season goes. I always have something come up, and hopefully, you guys can, hopefully we can share and learn and get better.
Yeah, definitely. Man, that's so true though. Like, you were making me think about like every hunting season, I'm sitting there thinking about it, months before I actually go out hunting, and I'm trying to get everything together. Thinking about everything in my head, and then I get up to hunt camp, and I'm like, I forgot to buy that, or I forgot to bring that, or there's always something that you forget that you're like, oh man, well, I forgot to grab that. So yeah, those are funny stories. And then like you were saying, you just get ready to go out to hunt camp, and then your alternator or something goes out, like things like that. So yeah, just talking about things like things that kind of revolve around that, as far as the struggles of a hunter, man.
And then
So
the other thing too that we probably should throw out there is I live in North Salt Lake, Utah. Eric lives out in Colorado, Fruta.
yeah, Fruta. Grand Junction is most people would probably know Grand Junction before they'd know Fruta, but Fruta's just down the way from Junction. And yeah, so that's another thing too, is we'll share some Colorado news. Whenever I have Colorado news, Joe will share some Utah news, doing with the conservation of what's going on out there in the wilderness. So
yeah. But anyways.
Yeah, definitely. So but speaking of Utah though, Joe, you said earlier that your house was rocking out.
Yeah, so it's been kind of interesting here in Utah lately. I mean, not only are we dealing with coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, but Utah, we've actually been dealing with some earthquakes. Nothing huge, luckily. A couple buildings have been damaged with the original one a couple weeks back. That was a bit bigger, but we 2 nights ago we had I think it was a 4.2. There was two of them, one 2 nights ago and one this morning, and it was those are kind of interesting. The one 2 nights ago, me and my wife Jen were sitting on the couch, and you could hear something rumbling. It sounded like a truck, a big diesel truck going by, starting off in the distance. And as they got closer, the house just started to shake, and that was kind of different, kind of interesting. And then this morning, while I was at work, kind of the same thing. The floor started to shake a little bit, and it almost sounded just like a big truck driving by. It wasn't too big, but the ground was shaking. And I, don't quite. I know we have a fault line here in Utah, or down through the Salt Lake area, but it's just interesting to actually feel it, and feeling the earth move.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that would feel like. I've never been in one, obviously, and man, I'd probably crap my pants. So, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm just glad that you guys are safe and everything's okay, and hopefully that's the last of them. You said earlier before we started recording that it was well, you might have just said it a second ago too, but you said it's the after effects of the first earthquake.
Yeah, that's what the news is saying. So it's I guess so. We had the first one a couple weeks back. I think can't remember if it was a 6 or a 7. And then these other they're not, I guess they're aftershocks is what we're saying. It's the same they're generating from the same location as the original earthquake. So they're saying they're just aftershocks, which, I mean, the earth is still quaking. I guess I don't. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is. An aftershock. So, man, that's crazy. I didn't know. I guess I don't know that much about earthquakes. I never really studied them anyway, but I never would have thought that they would have had aftershocks of a earthquake. So
I guess is what they say too, is with the original earthquake, all those plates are moving, and then it settles, and then it's still, earth is still kind of moving once it settles. The stuff isn't where it used to be, so everything's kind of settling in place as it gets to its final resting spot, I guess, for till the next earthquake.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, I'm like I said, I'm just glad that you guys are safe, and hopefully that's the last of them, huh?
Yeah, we hope they are, but they say that kind of they expect more, nothing as big, but just more aftershocks for the next little bit till it settles in. But
Oh, okay. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Um, well, then the other thing is you kind of brought it up a little bit ago too, is the coronavirus. Um,
true.
so
How's that been? Like, what I guess have you noticed anything out there where you're at? Like, how's that affecting your life? You guys
mm,
doing like we, for example, do our shopping more as a curbside pickup than going in the store right now and doing our shopping.
oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm still going in the store, I guess. Uh, what I've noticed though is I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know, I thought it was funny. Um, but I was like, it's funny that a couple months ago, if you walked in with a face mask, you get the cops called on you. But now you almost get the cops called on you if you don't have a face mask on. For so
yeah.
so I'm still not wearing my face mask, or I mean I'm not wearing a face mask. Um, and I'm starting to feel like the odd one out because everybody has one. so so that's a little different, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm, as far as shopping, I mean, I'm kind of like in and out. um I should probably be doing the curbside pickup too, but just washing my hands more mostly, and just trying to kind of be careful of that, and taking my vitamins. That's really the biggest changes, or not really changes, but making sure that I'm on top of my vitamins, and I am thinking about it, washing my hands more and things like that. But my full-time job, obviously, like, I'm still working, so not a
But you're
lot
not
of changes for me.
you're kind of you work by yourself though, right? Like you don't go out. You're not, I guess, working with a group of people. You're a single man operation.
Yeah, my wife wouldn't like you saying that, but yes, I'm a single man operation.
Yeah, like me on the other hand, though, I I work, with a few more. We have a big group of people at work, and so I've been taking the precaution of wearing a romper every day or jumpsuit, or I guess like a working, or you call coveralls or whatnot, and I wear that. I put it on out in the garage or take it off in the garage when I get home from work, and I wear a face mask all day at work, and then I'm also wearing latex gloves or whatever all day too,
Yeah.
and then I'll wash my hands. But like I go to work, suit up more or less, and then I get home, I take off my onesie, and then come, I step in the garage, and our wash machine's just right inside the door from the garage, and I throw all my clothes in there, and then everything I got on, from my coveralls to what I got on underneath, that just goes right in the wash machine. Then I hop in, take a shower, and then my wife Jen doesn't go into the car that I'm driving to work right now. We use our other car that we could go anywhere together, or she's going anywhere, she takes that car.
Mm.
But so but then again, I'm not, I'm working with a bunch of other people, so that there's been a couple confirmed, or I guess 5 confirmed cases at work now. So hopefully, I don't get it. But
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy that 5 confirmed cases where you work. I mean, that's a lot of.
yeah, it's been kind of, I should, it seems to be that they've only had one case come into work, and they sent that person home. And then they're, I guess people have already been self-quarantined or something, supposedly. So there hasn't been another case in work. They've sent, every time they've sent people home. And then after they've been home for a couple of days or a week, they call in and say, "Hey, I have the virus. I got the Rona." And then they quarantine themselves get quarantined for another 2 weeks. So, but
the way you're explaining that makes me think that they might be just calling in and be like, "Hey, not gonna be able to work for a few weeks. I got that virus." they might be.
I've thought about it.
Yeah, they might be abusing that system. So that's all right though. I was kind of hoping the same thing. I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have a few days off and relax a little bit, hang out with the fam, and then then they considered me essential, and I was like, dang it. The only time in my life I didn't want to be essential for something.
Okay.
So, but, yeah, man, I don't know. It's a crazy time right now for sure. But, with Corona and what's,
well, it's like interesting, like we keep talking about what's the new normal going to be.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's going to be, no more hugs or no more handshaking, or that, no, is that going to hurt? Like no more, I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see what stays and what changes and, whatnot. But,
well, I'm saying it right now. It's going to take a lot more than some coronavirus for me to not hug you, bro. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I'm trying to kind of keep pretty normal though, honestly. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not allowing myself to freak out about it too much or think too much into it. It's definitely scary, and I don't want people to be, I don't want people to get sick or die from it for sure. But I will say though, like one thing that I'm grateful for is Zoom, because this podcast is coming to you via Zoom. Like all this like kicked off because other podcasts that we listen to that we're fans of are doing Zoom podcasts, and I was like, well, why not? Why not? Joe lives in Utah, and for the longest time for me, I was always like, man, I wish we lived closer together. We would definitely do a podcast for sure. And then this Zoom stuff was kind of a gift and a curse. Me and Joe were talking about it the other day, and it's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, like it's fun and exciting too. But yeah, the coronavirus is kind of like had its weird little curses and definitely its weird little blessings too. In
right. Well, I don't know, like true, and like that's like the one thing. Like it's getting me looking forward to like hunting season. Getting out again. Getting out and going out there to Colorado with you and getting some scouting in, and getting that part of the life to normally, like I don't know, like that's gonna be normal. I don't know how normal, but more normal, I think.
Yeah, I hope that this stuff kind of goes away here pretty soon. I hope it's more just people talking, but I've heard that this stuff might stick around for like 6 months. Like, I don't think they're going to keep everything shut down, but there might be like social distancing and other precautions for this coronavirus for like 6 months. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that we just kind of get back to normal. But at this point, nobody could have if you would have told me this was going to happen, you know, like 6 months ago, you would have told me this was going to happen right now. I'd be like, there is no way they're going to shut down every single country in the world. And you know, everybody has to stay home. Like, no way. We're Americans. We're free. They ain't going to do that to us. You
Right.
know, but here we are. So, so yeah, it's crazy times, but yeah, like just trying to stay normal. You know, I'm gonna I got my turkey tag. I haven't had a chance to get out yet. They opened up last weekend, but I plan on going this weekend. Just the way everything worked out, and you know, trying to get into that. I've actually never turkey hunted before in my life. I mean, never really had much of an interest in it, but you know, the more I get immersed into hunting in general, the more I just want to have any excuse I can to be out in the woods, really. And
Right.
turkey season is a good start for the year, so here I am. but um, but yeah, so hopefully I get one. Um, that's kind of my plans for hunting season. Uh, you gonna do any fishing this season or this summer?
I'm hoping to. It's one of those things, you know, trying to I don't know how well it's going to work, but like to be able to plan scouting um around fishing too, you know, like. And then
Mm.
the other thing too, one of the things that me and Jen try to do is we call them shenanigans, where we haven't been. I mean, we haven't been really quiet up on it like we want to, but we've been doing it. But once a month, trying to do something together, the two of us, and that's one of the things is, you know, we're gonna, I think, is as a shenanigan to go out and maybe do some fishing somewhere too, as an activity to go out and do together. But I think I gotta improve my my fly fishing game. I got a fly rod. I got two, but I don't really know how to use them. I got last time I fly fished, I got it out fished pretty good. I didn't catch one fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even have a I've never really done fly fishing either. I'm just regular old trusty ugly stick fishing.
Right.
So
I yeah. I it's just I want to try. I've tried a couple times, but I've never caught anything. It's about like how my elk seasons are. I try every year, but I don't really seem to connect with them.
yeah. Well, and I know that's where me and you both have been struggling for a while, is trying to get one of those damn elk. And man, it sure seems easier than what it is, or it seems like it should be easier than what it is. But you know, I guess that's all part of it, is just the chase of the sport. And I don't know. I don't know why I said sport. I don't really like calling it a sport, but um, the chase of like just the I mean, a freaking athlete. You know, I mean, we're chasing an athlete out there. You
Right.
know, and and I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say though is it's just so fun to do, and it's a lot more challenging than a person thinks, especially whenever you're doing the public hunts like you and I do. Um, and you've been doing the bow hunts the last couple years. How I guess one question, like what's the biggest difference between the rifle and the bow season so far that you know?
For me, it's so far it's the temperature that I'm hunting in. I've been used to hunting, you know, like during the bull, the general bull, any bull rifle for the last couple of years. And, you know, I've been getting up at going to bed with it being 14 degrees, you know, or, you know, down to 5 degrees and getting up and being just as cold.
Yeah, yeah.
And then switching it over this last year and trying the archery, like it was odd to not go to bed cold. Like, you know, I didn't have to have you know, my long johns on to stay warm all day or all night. Like I just, taking clothes off because it was too hot versus being cold. But the other thing though, it's different because, I've shot bows and stuff growing up. I've always, and I know how to operate a bow, I really don't know, haven't really known what a bow, I guess, is doing all the time, like I know the basics of what's happening on a bow, but understanding that a little bit more, it's been kind of a different, the learning curve. And, when before is, tuning your bow, I had no clue what tuning your bow means, and, some of the terminology that, growing up, you just knock an arrow and pull back, and yeah, that looks like a good spot to aim at, and maybe you hit the bullseye, or you hit what you're shooting at. And, but actually taking the time and understanding what some of the, how to make your bow shoot better, how to make you shoot better. Like, I don't know everything yet, and don't know that I ever will, but, it's just different, different mindset. And when you're out there, you're trying to get within 20 to 40 yards of a big animal, and whereas a rifle, if I can get within 400 yards, I'm good. So bringing in that distance is different, and that changed to me, like it's a different way of thinking and a different way of going through the woods, not to say that I didn't always try to be quiet when I was rifle hunting, but with the bow, it's almost like as soon as I leave the truck, I'm quiet. I don't want to make any noise because I'm trying to keep things close, not push them away. But
right, yeah, no, that seems like that definitely seems like one of the hardest parts. But then, like, one of the coolest parts to bow hunting versus rifle is, in my opinion, though, is the bugling. Did you get into that much this year or this last year? Or?
I never, I guess, what do you call it, throw out a bugle, or I never tried bugling, but, while I was hunting, I did hear some bugles. I had a couple that were fairly close, that sounded close to me, and I had a couple of them that like I could hear them faintly in the background. But that's, that's one of the skills that I think I got to pick up on too, is bugling.
Yeah, I since I was a kid, I got to be clear, I don't think I'm good or anything, but I've practiced with bugles pretty much, not all, I guess, since I was like a teenager. So I always kind of messed around with the actual reeds and stuff. So yeah, I like to bugle a little bit, but I never really get the chance to utilize it because I always do the rifle hunts where they're pretty much done bugling by the time I get out there. In what was it, last year? It was late October whenever I got out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty much done bugling by then. So it really doesn't do me any good. But I'm hoping this year, the area that I've been hunting, or we've been hunting together for the last couple of years, with you coming up and kind of hanging out and helping me out with that area. I'm planning on going up there a few times this summer and scouting it out a little better, and try to find some other areas without really feeling the pressure of trying to get an animal. Because one of the biggest things that I feel that happens to me is all this pressure, right? Like, I get up there and I'm really excited to go out hunting, but then I start not seeing stuff, and then I start second guessing myself all the time. And I really feel like getting up there and scouting a little bit more than I have in the past will help me kind of feel more comfortable with the area, kind of focus on more of like where I want to hunt, instead of, second guessing myself because I'm not seeing something right away. Or, this last year, I mean, we didn't see anything. You know, the year before we kind of saw some activity when we were up in that area, but this last year we heard that one, and that was about it. And, you know, it was really, it sucked.
Right. I think like one of the things that we got to get better at is trying to remember, you know, like what season the elk are in. Everyone always talks about, you know, not the hunting elk season, but like the elk itself. Like, you know, like they have, you know, post rut, the rut, and pre rut, and what's, you know, like all that's going on at different time of the calendar year, and trying to better understand what part of that calendar year you're in for the elk, and or we'd be in for the elk, and paying attention to where the, you know, like what the vegetation's doing and stuff. I don't know, like I that's one of the things that I feel like I get out there, like, you know, kind of that pressure of, well, I'm not seeing anything, and you kind of just throw your playbook up in the air and, all right, let's over here looks good.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's I know I do it all the time, you know, and it's hard because you try to have a clear, positive mind, and you're like, oh, you know, I'll find something, but it does weigh on you, you know, especially whenever you see the end of your season, you know. I can't remember if Utah's the same way, but I mean, for Colorado, it's 1 week, you know, so I mean, you know, I put everything I got into that 1 week. You know, I take off the time of work for work. I do everything in that 1 week, but there's a lot of things that I feel kind of stack up against you whenever, you know, because everybody else is doing the same thing, so there's a lot more pressure. You know, it can be a struggle, is what I'm saying, and it can be. So yeah, by the end of the hunt season, you know, it starts weighing on you pretty hard that you're not. You might walk away again another year without getting a bull. So
You might struggle another year.
another struggle, another year, exactly. But well, so yeah, so I don't know, like, but I also feel like, you know, that's just what happens. I mean, you know, it was something, you know, you're gonna strike out some years, and you know, I feel like it's got to turn around for myself, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. You know, like they always talk about. I can't remember what the statistics are, but you know, they say like an average hunter, you're going to fill your tag once every 6 years or 10 years. You know, like so like so it's hard because you see some people. It's like, oh yeah, I got my elk every year, and you know, granted they could be have you know, the one heck of a hunter. They could be the luckiest guy in the world, or you know, but you know, just trying to work through those struggles and keep going and waiting, you know, for your turn to punch the tag and staying positive. That's, I think, you know, trying to remember. Yeah, I lost where I was going.
Well, oh, did you remember?
You know,
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, you saying that though made me think, or the statistic that you saw, it kind of makes me feel better, but then at the same time, I want to be the hunter that gets it every year, you know?
right.
I
But
thought, go ahead.
I was gonna say it just comes with time. I think, you know, if we sit down and try to create our playbook, you know, paying attention to, you know, what's going on in that unit that we're hunting in, as far as, you know, food, vegetation, and water, and you know what season the elk are in, and just really honing in on that, trying to, you know, make sure to stick to that playbook and not throwing it out the window too quickly, you know, being more patient and working harder.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree 100%. And I think, I mean, I think that's just it's just the way that it goes as far as hunting is, you know, you got to come in with a plan, and try to stick to it the best you can. I mean, I don't know. Did you hear that?
Was that the door open or something?
No, I didn't know if you heard it. It was just a bang.
I heard something, but I wasn't not that I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, it took my attention away. But yeah, man. I don't know. I kind of lost my thought of concentration too for a minute there. But this is our first podcast, so it is what it is. I think it'll get better and better. But yeah, so well, I guess what I was wanting to transition into is what are some of your plans for this upcoming hunt?
So I guess first I'm gotta wait to see what I drew out for. I guess that's more on the on the deer side of everything. And then I'm gonna pick up an over the counter archery tag or general any bull tag, and then want to get out and start trying to figure things out. As soon as I figure out like where I will be hunting. The other thing is where I hunt too is it's covered in snow right now, so I can't go get up there right now anyways, but I should be studying the the Onyx and Google Earth a little bit more and trying to gain a better understanding of the terrain I'll be hunting in and making my little tick marks on where I think would be a good spot. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to this year is hopefully I get a deer tag and then an elk tag on top of that. And then I need to start spending more time. It's, one of the things with coronavirus, I know I can go out and shoot my bow. I'll be, the whole social distancing, I'll be by myself, but it's just it's weird, that kind of just takes it out of your head. Like, I'm not supposed to be out anywhere, but I need to start putting more practice in shooting the old archery equipment before the season gets here, and I haven't really done anything.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do the same thing with my rifle. I tell myself I need to get out there and shoot, and then in the middle of the winter, it's too cold. It's too cold. I ain't gonna go out right now. And then right now with this coronavirus, I would love to go do it. I don't know if they're putting a stop out, like going to BLM land and shooting some targets out there. I don't know if there's putting a stop to that stuff or not. But
I haven't heard anything here on that, but I've heard that some bodies of water have been shut down. Unless you live in that county of the body of water, you can't fish it or something, or to that effect. So I know there's some of that's going on, but as far as going out, I don't know. I mean, I probably should look into that, but I haven't heard anyone else talking about it, so I haven't really, I guess, worried too much about it yet.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't really heard too much about that either. But so I'm sure I could go out, but it's another excuse. The coronavirus. I'll go shoot my gun later. But I don't know. Yeah, I do the same thing though. Like I got to practice with my rifle because I know like right before hunt season starts, the last couple of years, I get out there and I haven't shot the rifle at all, and I can feel myself flinch and everything, and I do not like that at all. And so I definitely got to work on getting more comfortable, shooting more often throughout the year. So I get rid of that flinch and it doesn't try to, come back and ruin you get so little of opportunity anyway when you're public hunting like that, like we have been. I mean, the last 2 years, since you've been hunting with me, I haven't even been able to, pull off a shot. So, I mean, you get but the one thing that you want to be confident in is your shot. And it's like the most important, but life happens. And sometimes it's just hard to get out to the shooting range. So
yeah, life's life's a struggle.
It is. It can be for sure with everything else going on, but you know, you just got to make that time and make and just do your best to try to do it. You know, so
Yeah, it's like one of the things I want to get better at is accomplishing my goals I set out. Not like not big goals, but like you said, going out shooting and trying to set aside one day a month or one day a week for archery shooting, trying to get out and spending some time with the bow and putting that into play, not just like, oh well, I'll plan it in next week or whatever, but actually that's one thing I need to do is look at when my season opens and then start working backwards, and try to plan out how many times I want to get shooting before the season gets here. And I wonder if it'd be better to I just had a thought of like trying to shoot, 1,000 arrows before the season starts or something, like trying to have a number of shots before. I don't know, just a thought.
I don't think it would hurt. I think what would be a better goal is having 1,000 arrows in the same spot. No.
That's true, I guess.
If you can accomplish that, then you shouldn't have to worry about it ever missing out there in the wild.
True.
But yeah, so yeah. No, I think it's really important to definitely get your target practice in, and I know I need to get better about it, and I plan on it. I had some and I lost it off the top of my head that I was going to bring up, and
I think the other thing too is this along those topics, getting ready for the upcoming season. Is I haven't been as good. I want to get better at it. Is keep myself in shape through the off season. It's not like it's really gonna stop me if I'm not in the greatest of shape, or if I didn't work out the whole season before. It doesn't really deter me, but I'd have a better hunting experience if I was in better shape, I feel, when I'm out there, trying to climb a big mountain or whatever, packing one out. It probably helps better once, being in better shape packing it out than probably busting the hills, because those packs are heavy when they're loaded with meat.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great thing to bring up, because that's definitely one of my biggest struggles too. Is I'm like, man, I just want to get in shape so I can, I hate being out of shape, and I feel like the older we get, I'm in my mid-30s, and it gets harder and harder, man. When I was in my 20s, I could run up and down hills, and I could take a break for 6 months, run up and down a hill, maybe feel a little winded, but then the next time I do it, it's nothing. And now I look at the hill and I'm winded, so it's definitely,
Right.
It's definitely changed. So as an older person, so it's definitely important to get to the gym. And this Corona stuff, bringing it back to the Corona, it doesn't help with the Corona at all, because the gyms are closed, obviously. And I told myself, I was like, I'm going to still work out at home. And to be honest, I haven't done much of anything as far as working out at home. So it's been.
Well, talking about working out at home, have you seen like the stuff like on the media and stuff where people are like taking their couches and like doing presses with their couches? And I can't remember what else I've seen, but like, they're doing, I guess they're doing it, but it just seems, like,
Little
I don't know, press my couch above my head.
That seems a little outrageous, I think. I haven't seen that at all. Did you say that was on the news?
No, just I think it's like social media somewhere. I can't remember which one it was, but it's just, I don't know.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
they're doing it and I'm not. So I guess, why get what.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it does seem a little outrageous, but I mean they are moving. So as long as you're moving, I guess, right? Yeah. Yeah. A part of me was with the gym closing, like I was like, I thought this would only be like a couple weeks. So I'm like, man, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna let the gym be closed for a few weeks and kind of take a few weeks off, and recover and just relax, not worry about going to the gym, not worry about it. And then now they pushed it, till the end of April. So now, the gym's even been closed longer. And I'm like, man, and now it's like hard. Like I told myself I'd still work out at home, and having the few weeks off, the gym still being closed, and it's hard to get mentally right to like work out at home. And half the reason that I go to the gym is literally because I hate working out at home. So, my theory is um, if you hang out at the barber, you're going to get a haircut. Speaking of, don't hang out at the barber, Joe.
My hair's getting there. I think that's, I'm probably another, maybe, I think it's long enough. It's just more when I'm ready to cut it now. So I guess just to share off that comment is I'm growing my hair out to donate it and I guess in honor and in memory of my mom. My mom passed away 7 years ago, due to breast cancer. So anyways, I spent the last 2 years growing out my hair, and now I think I'm finally long enough to cut it. So I mean, it's down there a ways. I think I'm at 9 inches, and you have to be 8. So but that's been an experience too. Is this has been growing out. It's been use the term long hair problems.
Long hair problems. Well, it definitely looks better than it ever did before, because I've kind of so me and Joe don't get to see each other a whole heck of a lot, but we see each other a couple times a year, every year here and there. And so the last couple of years, his hair I've seen like stages of his hair, and honest, I mean, it'd almost be a shame if you cut it at this point, because it looks pretty cool.
I know. I mean, that is one of the things though with it. It's like, oh well, they got it this long. I might as well
Yeah.
just keep it. But I don't know. It's a different experience. It's been fun. It's we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
One type of haircut I want to do when it's gone. I thought about doing a mullet, but I don't think I will.
A mullet. You crazy. You're crazy. You've always like done the weirdest stuff since high school. Like I mean, the mullet's been gone since the 80s, and you're like, oh, I might bring back the mullet. But no,
I'm
it
just
looks. Go ahead.
no. You go ahead. That's fine.
Oh, I was just gonna say, no, your hair looks really good though. Like it looks the best it's ever looked in the last couple of years. And then uh, I feel like you need to go see if like anywhere in Utah they're doing some kind of like frontier man reenactment documentaries or movies, because you would totally fit in as a frontier man,
As a mountain man.
as a mountain man. Yeah, frontier mountain man. No, I mean, you look like the most mountain man of 2020 there is. You might be starting a new trend, like all those people with the man buns and plaid shirts,
Right?
trying to grow the mustache. Did you ever have a man bun when your hair was getting longer?
No, I mean, no, I don't. I never did. I wear it in a ponytail at work. I pull it back and kind of do a little bun just to keep it back out of the way, just so that way I don't get it caught in machinery or something. But
Yeah.
I don't like it having a ponytail. I like to let it flow.
Yeah, let it flow. That's the better way to have that, is just let that thing flow in the wild. Start calling you what's his name? The old model.
Fabio?
Fabio, yeah.
That's what they used to call me at work. They haven't called me that in a minute. When it finally started getting longer, like down past my ears, they started calling me Fabio. Every time they'd pull out an air hose, to blow something off, I'd stand in front of it and just wave my hair in it.
That's funny. That's awesome. That's the best. Man, yeah, no, I think it's a great cause though, man. I really do. I think it's a great cause what you're doing that for. And I was fortunate to know your mom, and I think about her often, and just how sweet of a lady she was and how great she was. And I think, what you're doing is very admirable.
I got you. Admirable.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That means a lot. I know.
Yeah. So, no, it's really awesome though to see you doing that, and I know it's been a commitment, but now it looks so good. I don't know if you want to cut it though. That's the problem.
Yeah, it has more curls than I thought I'd have. Like I get a couple good ringlets every once in a while. I don't nothing. I'll say I conditioner it every once in a while.
Yeah. 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 No, it's pretty flashy, but yeah, where were we at before we started doing talking about your hair? The gym time. The gym
yeah.
time. Yeah. So yeah, like the one reason that I remember now. So the one reason that I like going to the gym is because of that reason is what else am I going to do there? I'm not going to go watch the game or whatever, which sometimes I do if there's a game on, but but no, I mean, I'm there to like work out. It gets me in the mindset, but here at the house, there's just so many distractions, and I'd rather, other stuff. Not that I'd rather do it, but if I'm sitting there at the couch or looking at my dumbbells in the corner, I'm like, well, I'd rather stay here on the couch. So, that's my problem with getting out there and working out at home and stuff. So I hope the gym's open back up. I guess in short of what I'm trying to say is I hope the gym's open back up here pretty soon and kind of be able to start doing that. Getting back to the gym and stuff. If not, I'll probably have to start running around the neighborhood, and we got a park right across the street, so it ain't too bad. I just haven't really utilized it. Like I said, I was just kind of taking a little break from the gym, but I tried to. That is one thing though. I tried to work out like pretty much. I worked out for like a whole year without really taking a break, like maybe a couple days here and there, or I think the most that besides until this coronavirus, like the most was like a couple weeks that I didn't go to the gym. And I think that was around the holidays. But I kind of went to the gym like pretty much all year long, and I was feeling really good, kind of lifting for like more heavy. I wasn't doing a lot of cardio or anything, just lifting the weights, and so I definitely kind of miss it, But anyways, yeah, man, that gym time is important. I hope they open it back up soon, especially before hunting season, to help get me in a little better shape.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess the next podcast, we'll try to pump these out a little more often. This one was a little bit of a, wipe off the cobwebs and try to get it smoothed out eventually. But I feel like that probably do it for this podcast. you good, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good. Just uh, the struggle's real. The struggling hunters, we'll try to be, as transparent, tell you about our hard times and what we did to overcome them, and if we didn't overcome them. Hopefully, you'll have as much fun as we have talking about them, and you'll be able to listen about them. Hopefully, be able to laugh at something about us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully laugh about our hunt stories rather than our podcast bloopers that we that we have. But no, I mean, I feel pretty good about this podcast, and I'm excited to get it going. And it's really about us just kind of knocking out a few things, is being able to share, like Joe said, share our struggles and what we're learning. And hopefully it's not always struggles, but we can start sharing a lot more of our successes and things like that, and just have fun with this. And that's really what it's about, is just having fun and hopefully learning something along the way. And everything that we learn as a couple dudes, just a couple struggling hunters, we we share with you and with you guys, and provide good content for you guys. So with that said, I mean, thanks for joining into the Struggling Hunters podcast. We appreciate you guys. Joe, you want to sign off with anything?
I just work through the struggle. Struggle's real, but the reward's best on the end of it. No matter if it's a success or a failure, you always learn something, and always be willing to share. I guess. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.
Bye.
The struggling hunters.